everyone, welcome back to this channel, Technical Drawing Masterclass. It has been a while since we last discussed technical drawing. I had some issues that were bothering me, but then the place that I'm in right now is not favorable for me to do the pencil work. So that's why I opted for the AutoCAD interface. So viewers, allow me to be taking you through the technical drawing lessons using the AutoCAD interface. So today I'm going to introduce to you some of the commands you can be using to go through the technical drawing work. Yeah, it's usually the same concept, but only that the difference is here you're dealing with a software designed for drawings. Then when it comes to manual drawing, you're using pencils, pieces of papers, like the way I've been doing it in the previous videos. So let's open up the AutoCAD program. Okay, so when it's done with opening, this is the window that comes up. So it has the Get Started section, then the Recent Document section, then the Notification and Connect section. So for the Recent Documents section, here you only find the documents that you've been working on. Yeah, like me, probably these are the kind of projects that I've been working on. So, but now we are going to use a new working space. So to get there, I'll just click here. So AutoCAD will take us direct to the new working space. So right now we shall start with the application menu. It's a red button located at the upper left corner of the AutoCAD interface. So when you click on it, it will bring up a dialog box having different kinds of menus. So right here I have the recent documents menu button. So when you click on it, it only displays the recent documents that you've been working on. Yeah, so we have also the open documents. Here it only opens the document that you're working on currently. Okay, so when you click on the new menu button, it will AutoCAD will show you the select template dialog box for you to select the template to be using. So in most cases we use AutoCAD. Okay, so here for the file name you put AutoCAD. Then you also select the types of files, okay, which is this one. Then after that you click open. For me, I can't click here open because I'm already in the new working space. So we go back to our application menu. So when you click on open, there are different kinds of menus that will pop up at the right side of the dialog box. So when you click on drawing, a select file dialog box will show up for you to select which kind of drawing you want to open for AutoCAD. Okay, so when you're done with selecting the kind of file you want, you click on open. Yeah, it will take you direct to that file that you have selected. Then save as. So when you click on save as, literally when you're done with working and maybe you want to save your projects, you click on drawing, then you select the folder or a location on your computer where you want to save your work. So literally, if you feel like nothing is favorable for you here, you can click on desktop anywhere. So after finding the location of the location where you want to save your project, you name you name your project. Then after, you leave this one as it is, then you click save. Okay, so right now I'll name this one introduction to AutoCAD. Then I click save. So after you clicking save, the name that you have saved, the name of the project or file you have saved, it will show up at the topmost section of the title bar. So let's get back to the application menu. We are still on it. So here there is import file, export file, there is publish, printing. Here for printing, it applies when you're done with working and maybe you want to print out or document your project. Yeah, I'll show you how you can apply the printer menu command with time. Okay, yeah. So after the application menu, we have the quick access toolbar. In most cases, the quick access toolbar, all the icons that you're seeing here, they're in the application menu. And the manufacturer for AutoCAD thought it wise, maybe if you're working in your project and maybe you want to quickly access these commands in the application menu, you can easily click on the quick access toolbar such that you can do anything with your project. Okay, then here we have the title bar. Majorly the title bar has the name of the program that you're using. For me, I'm using AutoCAD 2021. Then also the name of the project that you're working on currently. Yeah. Then below the title bar, we have the ribbon. Now for the ribbon, here are the commands that we are going to be dealing with in our lessons for technical drawing. Literally, the ribbon has tabs. It has the home tab, insert tab, annotate, parametric, view, manage, output, add-ins, collaborate, like, and so on. But then for most of these ones that we're not going to be using, I'll introduce them to you when we get further with AutoCAD. Yeah, but right now mostly we are going to be interacting with the home tab, the insert and annotate, right? Yeah, so I'm going to take you through all these commands. Yeah, so now for every tab on the ribbon has commands under it. So if you click on the insert tab, these are the commands under the insert tab. Okay, yeah, so we shall get to know how to use these ones with time. as we move on together with AutoCAD. Then also the annotate tab. These are the commands under it. Yeah, so we shall interact with some of these ones as we go on with our technical drawing lessons. Then the parametric, it also has commands under it. Also the view tab has commands under it. So you find that some of these commands, like those under the home button or tab, these commands are grouped into panels. Yeah, like the drawing panel, modifying panel, the annotation panel, layers panel, the block, properties, yeah, groups, utilities, and so on. So under the ribbon, we have the working space. Then we also have the V group. This one is used majorly to navigate into the 3D. Yeah. So you can easily, when you're working in 3D, you can navigate through the 3D drawings using the view group. We shall come to know about the 3D drawings with time. Okay. So this is the workspace where we're going to be majorly drawing our diagrams, like technical drawing, in technical drawing. So this is the workspace. Okay. Then below the workspace, we have the layout tabs. We have the model tab. This one, it only shows you the workspace. Like if you have drawings in here, yeah, so when you click here, to be showing you all the drawings that are in your workspace. Then if you click on layout one, majorly for layout tabs, it's like number of papers you'd like to print out your drawings. Yeah. So if you feel like only two layout tabs can be enough for you to print out your work, you can only work with only two layout tabs. But if you feel like you need another tab, you can easily click here, then you plot your drawings on these layouts tabs. So right now I've clicked on the first layout tab, so it will take you directly to this page or window, whereby here this is the piece of paper it has. Then this one is the viewport. So as we continue with AutoCAD, I'll show you how you deal with the viewports, yeah, when you're plotting your drawings. Okay, so let's get back to the model space right here. So we have the command line here. It is an interface between you, the user of AutoCAD, and AutoCAD, the software itself, whereby you just need to put in a command here. Literally, AutoCAD will allow you to use that command in the workspace. Yeah, I will show you exactly how to do it when we continue with this video. So below the command line, we have the status toolbar. Here, the status toolbar, it has commands which work hand in hand with the commands uh, that are in the ribbon. So literally, if some of the commands here are not active, you'll find that your drawings will be inaccurate. Yeah, like this one, display the grid. For this one, you can either make it active or not. Then the snap mode, it depends on how you're working. Then literally this one, I rarely use it because it just restricts the cursor to only right angled angles like 90 45 90 45, right? And yet when you're working, your cursor should be able to move into different directions. So you should make sure that your polar tracking is on, then the object snap tracking is on, then the object snap is on. Okay, yeah. So as we go on with AutoCAD, I'll show you more of the functions of these other uh, commands on the status bar. So when you feel like you want to add in another command on the status bar, which is not included here, like at the moment, there is a command here called customization. So you just click on it, then it will bring for you a bunch of commands here. So you choose from any of these ones, which one you would feel like should be included here, and you start working with it. Yeah. So for this one, if you need a clear um, AutoCAD screen with less tabs on it, you see when I clicked on that command, the working space kind of increased. So if you feel like you need this kind of interface, then just click on that command. But then you feel like as you continue with working in such a working space, you reach at the point whereby you need other commands. So it will force you to go back to the original one. So when you want to go back to the original one, you just click on that same command, then AutoCAD will automatically uh, get back to its original interface. So right here we have the isolate object command. So when you click on it, it will bring for you two options: hide objects, then isolate objects. So it will depend on what you exactly want. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can deal with these commands when we are already working with AutoCAD. Then we have the annotative monitor, we have the setting, the workspace switching. Yeah, so you can switch to any kind of workspace. Right here, we are using the drafting and annotation workspace. If you want to switch to 3D, you click on that option, 3D basics or 3D modelings. Yeah, okay. So we have the command for scale. Right here, we're going to be using one to one scale, but then I'll show you when you can easily change the scale in most cases when it comes to plotting. Yeah, when you're done with drawing and you want to plot all your projects. So when you're plotting, time reaches and whereby you want to change the scale of that drawing such that it can fit the paper. Yeah, so I'll be showing you how you can deal with it. Yeah, I think I've taken you through all these ones. Then also we have the navigation tab. Yeah, it has the full navigation wheel. Yeah, then here it has the pan command, then the orbit. uh the show motion, but these ones mostly we use them when we're in 3D. We're going to end here right now. We shall start by part 2 of our video. So I welcome you back to the second session of our video. So right now we are going to handle all the tools that are under the ribbon, but then these tools they are they are grouped into panels, like the tools under the home tab. They are grouped under panels: the drawing panel, modifying panel, the annotation panel, layers panel, the block panel, properties, groups, utilities, clipboard, so on. So what I'm going to do right now is to take you through um, the commands for the drawing panel. Okay, so right now we have the line command, the polyline command, we have the circle command, we have the arch tool command, we have the rectangle tool command, we have the ellipse command, we have the hash tool command. So the other thing is, for any command that has an arrow just below the name of the command, it indicates that there are more other commands hidden. So just as the way I've clicked on this circle command at the arrow, so AutoCAD spreads out these other commands that were hidden. So in our course of the video, I'll be showing you how you can use these other different uh, kinds of circles. So the same thing applies to the hash command, whereby it also has a variety of commands that applies on different conditions. Okay, so the same thing applies to the rectangle command. It has a polygon and also a rectangle. Then also the ellipse. So right now, after the ellipse command, we have the hash tool command. So when you click on the hash tool, it will take you to this. It will take you to a variety of hash tools that you can use in your drawings. Yeah, just in case maybe you want to differentiate one drawing from another drawing, you can easily use the hash tools. They are mostly used in when you're making architectural drawings. Yeah, they are of importance there. So let's get back to the drawing panel. So on this panel, it's called the drawing panel. So just besides the name draw, there is an arrow. So when you click on that arrow, the panel spreads out, and so these commands will be seen. But then if you want to work with any of these commands like simultaneously, you just need to click on this arrow just at the lower side of the panel. So when you click on it, it will lock this panel, whereby even if you remove the mouse cursor, the panel can't close up. So that gives you a platform for you to easily work with any of the commands. Then when you're done, you just unlock the panel. So when you remove the cursor, the panel closes up. So let's continue with the draw panel. So I'm going to explain to you all these commands, the way they are, they are being used when it comes to the workspace. So let's start with the line tool and the polyline tool. So I happen to come up with these simple drawings just to illustrate how the line tool works and the polyline tool how it works. So I drew this rectangle using the line tool or line command. So it is 1000 millimeters by 500 millimeters. Okay, then this rectangle, I drew it using the polyline command. It's the same dimensions as this one. So let me try to show you how you can draw this same kind of rectangle using the line tool. So before I click on the line tool, always make sure that your polar tracking is on, then also your object snap tracking is on, then the object snap is on. So I'll click on the line tool, or I'll simply type in line, then I'll click enter. So still get the line tool, and I start off my drawing. So I feed in 1000 millimeters. Okay, and also here I put in 500 millimeters, and also here 1000, and I'll simply join up here. So I'll put the dimensions. So that's 1000, and also this is 500. So you find that this triangle is the same as this. I mean, this rectangle is the same as this. So I want to show you how you can use the polyline command to draw this rectangle. So I'll click here on the polyline command, come here, and I feed in my 1000. I press the enter button. Now also feed in 500 millimeters. I press the enter button on the keyboard, and also the same thing here. Okay, then I'll put the dimensions. Okay, so you find that this rectangle here is the same as this one. So there is something unique here. For the polyline, when you click at any of the sides of the rectangle drawn by the polyline command, when you click at any of the sides, it highlights the whole rectangle. But then when you click on one side of the rectangle drawn by the line tool, it only highlights that one side. So if you need to highlight the rectangle drawn by the line tool, you need to click on all sides. Okay, so that's why you find that most of the people, they opt for the polyline command or the rectangle command. So that is it for the line tool and polyline command. So let's get to the circle command. So for the circle command, we have different commands for circles. So we have a circle which can be drawn on a condition whereby you have the center and the radius, then center and diameter. When you have the 2 points, and these 2 points will be tangential to the circumference of the circle that will be required. Then this one, when you have 3 points, then for this condition whereby this circle is tangential to 2 circles with a given what radius, then for this command, the circle is tangential to any surface. It could be circles, it could be. So let's get into it. So for the first example we have here, it is a circle of center and radius condition, which is the first one here. So we shall first draw our axis. For these ones, you can just draw. Then I have my center as O, then OP as radius, as I indicated here. So I'll come at this command, the circle command. I put my cursor at the intersection of these 2 lines. So I'll feed in my 1000, which is the radius. So it will give me this kind of circle. So I'll highlight it. Yeah. So that is it. So I'll just copy these points here. I bring them right here. So I'll put my 1000 right there. Okay. So you find that this circle here is the same as this. So let's get into the second condition, whereby it is a circle of center and diameter. So we are being given the diameter as OP, which is equal to 2000. So let me show you how you can draw up that circle. So I draw my line, I feed in 2000. Okay, then I come at the circle command, I click at the arrow, then I look for the command which has center and diameter. So considering this point as my center, okay, I'll click there, then I just drag my cursor until it meets that other point. Okay, so I'll copy these points. Okay, so you find that this circle here will be of diameter 2000. Okay, supposed to be 2000, not 1000. So we are done with condition number 2. Then condition number 3, it is circle with tangent, tangent and radius condition, right? So this is how I arranged my diagram to illustrate this condition. So I'm going to first draw this line OP, which is equal to 1500 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to draw here this first circle. It is of diameter 800. So it implies that the circle will be of radius 400. So I'll feed in 400. Then this other circle is of diameter 1200. That means the radius is 600. So I come at point P. I put in my radius 600. So this is the diagram I want. So the distance is 150. 1500 millimeters. So the condition we have is tangent tangent radius condition. So I'll come back to my circle command, click at the arrow, then look for that condition which is right here. So I'll click there, then alongside the mouse cursor AutoCAD is telling me to specify point on the object for the first tangent of the circle. So I'll click here. Then it's telling me specify point on the object for the second tangent of the circle. So I'll also click there. Then it's telling me to specify the radius of the circle. So if I want 600, I'll just press enter. Then if you need any other radius, maybe it's the one that you need or it's one that is required for your design, it's okay. But for me now, I'll use 600. So I'll just press enter on my keyboard. So this circle will come in automatically. So I'll change it to that. So now find that this circle is of diameter 800, and this one is of diameter 1200, and also this one is of diameter 1200. Okay, so this is the third condition. Then we move to the fourth condition, circle with 2 points condition. Okay, so right here I have I'm required to draw a circle with 2 points condition. So literally I'm just trying to reproduce the same kind of figure just to show you how you can easily draw these circles. So if I have my straight line, I can give it a dimension of 1000. So come here, I look for this for the circle with two points. So I consider this one as my first point. Then I also consider this one as my second point. So this one is your required what? Circle. So you can either draw it like this or the way I've drawn it here. But this one is more simpler than this. Okay? So whichever is best for you, that's what you can go on with. So I'll try to copy these points. And I'll change this one to P. And also I'll give it a dimension. Okay, so we move on to the fifth condition, center with 3 points condition. So we have point O, point P, and point Q. So right here, I'll first draw the perpendicular line, which is 2000. Press enter, then I draw the horizontal one, which is also 2000. Press enter. Then I come at the circle command. I look for the circle command with 3 points, which is that one. Then I'll start by this point. Then I also specify the second point. Then now, when I specify the third point, the circle will circumscribe the two lines, the perpendicular line and the horizontal line. So I'll just try to copy these points. Put them there. Then I put the dimensions. Sorry. Okay, so we are done with the fifth condition. So right now we have the last condition for drawing the circles with a circle with tangent, tangent, tangent condition. So according to the example I have here, I have the 3 circles, and each circle is 150, I mean 1500 millimeters away from each other. So this other circle, which is in the red color, it is tangential to each and every circle here. So I'm going to reproduce the same kind of drawing. So I'll first use this command of circle, offset and radius. We first find the radius. So here, according to what I've just measured, the diameter is 800. That means the radius of each and every circle here will be 400. So I click on my circle command. I put in 400. So I draw my line, but inclined at an angle of 30. Sorry. Here in the first box, I'll put in the length of this line that I want. Then I press the tab button such that AutoCAD can take me to the second box for me to feed in the what? For me to feed in the angle, which is 30. So when I click enter, this this line will be inclined at 30, the horizontal. Let me try to show it to you right here. So I'll choose angular. So that is it. So if you apply the alternating angle principle, you find that this will be the same what? Angle. So I've just brought in these ones to make you understand some concept, but they were not as such necessary. So I'll just try to copy the same circle at that point. Then I'll draw another line this side. I'll feed in 150. Sorry. Then I press the tab key. Then I put in 150. Then I'll copy this circle right there. So I'll join up this line up there. So I'll join these two centers of these two circles using this line. So I'll try to copy these letters that indicate the centers of these circles. Okay. Then I'll come back to my circle command. Then I click at the arrow. Then I choose the last option, which is this one. So AutoCAD will tell me to specify the first point of the circle. So I'll choose that one. Then AutoCAD will still tell me to specify the second point of the circle. I'll choose that one. Then it will still tell me to specify the third point of the circle. Then after me choosing the third point, AutoCAD will automatically bring for me this circle, which is tangential to D3 circles. So I'll give dimensions to this. lines. Okay, so this is it with the circle command. So in our of this video, we're going to look at the hatch command, the hatch command. So let's get to the hatch tool. So for the hatch tool, it has many commands just hidden in it. So if you want to see all those commands, you just click on the arrow just below the name hatch. So you'll find that you can draw an arch provided that you have the 3 points. You can draw the arch provided you have the start point, center, and the end. You can draw an arch in AutoCAD provided that you have the start, center, and angle condition. Then you can draw also an arch provided that you have the start, center, and length. So you can also draw an arch using the start, end, and angle. You can also draw an arch using provided that you have the start point, end point, and direction. Then also you can draw an arch provided that you have the start point, the end point, and the radius. Okay, then you can also draw an arch provided that you have the center, start, and end. Yeah, so I'm going to take you through all these commands. Then I left some 3 commands for you to research, and maybe you can let me know in the comment section what you found out. But then let's get into it. So we are going to start with the arch with 3 points condition. So I tried to come up with some examples here just to guide us on how to come up with these arches. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to reproduce the same kind of arch. So we have an arch with 3 points condition. So I'm going to reproduce this kind of diagram such that you can understand what exactly I'm trying to mean. So here I have this line OP and PQ. OP is of length 2000 millimeters, then PQ is also of length 2000 millimeters. So I'm first going to draw those 2 lines. So I'll feed in 2000 and also here 2000. Press escape. Okay, then I have my I'll name these lines according to our diagram here. We have OP and PQ. So I'll just copy these points. Okay, So I'll go to my arch tool, I click on it. So I'll click at my first point O. So AutoCAD will tell me to specify the second point of the arch. So I'll click at point P. Then I'll also click on point Q. So this is the required arch. Okay. So I'll try to put the dimensions. And I'll also name this arch. So this is our first arch, and we have constructed it successfully. So we go to the second condition. We have the arch with start, end, start, center, and end condition. So this is it. So we shall have our straight line PQ with the center O. So it's the line that we are going to base on to construct our arch. So we shall use our P as the start point, O as the center, then Q as our end point. So the total length of PQ is 3000 millimeters. So I'll click on my line tool. I'll draw that line, I'll feed in 3000. I'll press escape. Then I'll name these points. I'll call this one P. Then I'll call this one Q. So now the distance between those 2 points is 3000 millimeters. So I want to locate my middle point. So I'll call this point O. So when you're done with locating your center point, you come at the arch tool, you click at the arrow, you choose the second option having start, center, and end option, all condition. So I'll click on it. I'll click on my start point, which is P. Then I click at the center. Then also I'll click at the end point, which is Q. So this is the required arch. Okay. So you'll find that this is the required arch. So I'll just copy this one to here. Okay, so let's move to the third condition, whereby we have the arch with the start, center, and angle condition. So right now we are going to reproduce the same kind of diagram. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to draw this line OP, which is 2000 millimeters. So I'll feed in 2000 millimeters. So I'll name that point O. And I'll call that point P. So now the distance between them is 2000 millimeters. So I want to draw an arch with the condition of start, center, then angle, which is this one here. Start, center, then angle condition. So I'll come at my arch tool, click at the arrow. I select my third option, which is start, center, then angle condition. So point O is going to be my start point, then point P is going to be my center. So I'll click there, also click there. Then AutoCAD will instruct me to specify the angle. So I'll put in 150. Okay. So this is the arch that that is required when you're being given a condition that you have the start point, which is O, P, then the angle. Okay. So when I try to join point P to the end of this arch, with a line here. So I'll try to make this line white, then the arch be yellow. Let me prove to you that this angle is 150. So I'll come at the annotate tab, click at that arrow just next to linear, then choose angular. So I'll click there and also click on this line. So you'll find that this angle here is 150. So this is our required arch. Okay. So I'll try to move it here. Yeah, so that is our required arch. So let's get to the third condition, I mean the fourth condition, whereby you have the arch with the start, center, and then condition. So we are going to still reproduce this same kind of diagram, but this time we have the center point, I mean the start point, which is O, the center, which is P, and the distance between those 2 points, it is 2000. Then this is our required length, and this will be the what? The required arch. So using the line tool and considering 2000 to be our length, then also OP being 2000 millimeters, I'll draw these two lines. Then I'll name these 2 points. Call this point O. Now call this point P. And now the distance between these 2 points is 2000. So right now we want to fulfill this condition when you're being required to draw an arch with the start, center, and length condition. So I'll click on my arch tool command, then select the fourth option, which is start, center, and length command. So that is it. So this is our required arch. So this is our required length. So next, we are going to go into our fifth condition, whereby you're required to draw an arch with start, end, angle condition. So I have start, end, and then angle condition. So I'll draw my straight line. Let's give it a dimension of 3000 millimeters. I press enter, then I also press escape. Then I'll name the points. I'll call this one O. And I'll call this one P. Okay. So now the distance between these 2 points is 3000 millimeters. And now we have a condition of start, end, and angle condition. So I'll first click on my start point, then end point, then I specify the angle. So I'll come at my arch tool, click at the arrow, then select the fifth condition. So I'll click at my start point, which is O, then end point, then I'll specify my angle. Okay, so this is the required uh, arch. So for this condition, you can draw it either way. Let me try to show you the other way. You can choose to start with point P as your start point, then point O as your end point, then you choose the angle. Okay, so here I'll put in 30, but remember, the bigger the angle, the bigger the arch. The smaller the angle, the smaller the arch becomes. So I'll feed in 150. So this arch here is our required arch, and probably it's the same kind of arch as we have, the same kind of arch like the one we have just drawn here. So I'll name this arches. Okay, that is it. So let's go into our sixth condition, whereby you're being required to draw an arch with the start, end, and direction condition. So still we shall use a straight line, and I named it OP, of which the distance between these 2 points OP is 2000 millimeters. And I used a direction of angle 90 degrees. These two conditions are relatively similar, only that here you're being required to specify the angle, here you're being required to specify the direction. Draw my line OP of distance 2000 millimeters. I press enter, then I also press escape. So I'll name these 2 points. Call that one point O. Then this one, I'll call it point P. And the distance between these 2 points is 2000 millimeters. So remember, we are in this condition with we are required to draw an arch with start, end, and direction condition. So I'll come at my arch tool command. I click at the arrow, which is start, end, and direction. So I'll come here. I'll select O as my start point, then P as my end point. Then I'll select this direction, which is at right angles to line OP. So this is our required arch. Okay. So right now, let's get into our last condition. Remember, I told you that I left these other last 3 commands for you to research and know how you can go over it. Then you let me know in the comment section whether you found how to come up with them or not, such that I can make a video. So it is the arch with start, end, and radius condition. Okay, so we are going to reproduce this kind of diagram. So I have my QP as 2000 millimeters, then our radius will be OS. So I'll first draw QP as 2000 millimeters. So I'll call this one Q. Now call that point P. And now the distance between them is 2000. So I'll come at the arch tool, click at the arrow. I select this seventh command, which is start and radius. So I'll click at my start point, which is Q. I click at the end point, which is P. Then I'll specify the radius. I'll feed in 2000. So this is my required edge. Okay, so I can do it either way, and I start from this point up to this point, but if I do it that way, then our arch will be at the top of line QP. So let me show you that other way. So I'll just copy this line QP, then I click at the command, start from point P, then I end at point Q. So I put in my radius, which is 2000. So that is it. So that is it. So next, let's continue with the rectangle tool. So for the rectangle tool, I came up with an example here. So I use the rectangle tool to draw this rectangle of dimensions 4000 to 2000 by 2000. So I'm going to reproduce the same kind of drawing using the rectangle tool. So I'll click at the rectangle tool. I come to the workspace. I click. Now fill in the length, which is 4000. I press the tab key at the keyboard. Then I also put in my width, which is 2000. So put my dimensions there. So that is 4000. That's 2000. So you find that this rectangle is the same as this one. So let's get to the polygon tool. So for the polygon tool, you can use it to draw any kind of polygon that you feel like. So whenever you click at the polygon tool, AutoCAD will ever instruct you to specify the number of sides of the polygon that you want to draw. So here I have 4 sides. So I'll press enter. Then AutoCAD will instruct me to specify the center of the polygon. So I'll click there. Then I'll feed in 2000. Okay. So I'll try to move it here. So I'll put my dimensions. So this square here is the same as this one here, but it may not be necessary that you draw a square of the same kind of dimensions. Yeah, it's possible that you can draw a square of any kind of dimensions you feel like. So let's get to this other drawing. So still I'll click the polygon tool. Then I'll feed in 6. Then I press enter. Then I'll specify the center of the polygon. And I'll click some subscribed about a circle. Then I'll come up with that hexagon. So this hexagon may not necessarily be the same dimensions as the one I have in the example, but it's the same procedure that you can follow up to come to this same hexagon. Okay, so let's get to the ellipse command. So now for the ellipse command, I have 3 options here. You can draw an ellipse provided that you have the center of the axis N, then the elliptical arch. For now, I'll take you through these 2 options. Then for this one, we shall get to know how we can use it as we move on with our drawings. So first, I'll show you how you can come up with this ellipse from center. So I'll first draw my line, which is 2000. And here I'll put in 500. So I'll copy these points, right there. Then after that, I'll click at the arrow uh, just besides the ellipse command. Then I'll click the first option. So from center up to point P. Then AutoCAD will tell me to specify the minor axis length. I'll put in 500. So this is our required ellipse. So let's move on to the second example. So still, I'll draw this line, just copy it. But right now, I have axis and end, which is our second option. So this is our major axis. So I'll start from this point P and also click at this other point. So I'll specify the minor axis, which is that. So this is our second ellipse that we have just drawn. So these examples of the ellipse, they are equally similar, but the approach may be different. So when we are done with the ellipse command, we shall go straight to the hash command. So literally for the hash tool, we usually use it for like if you've drawn your drawings and maybe you want to differentiate them from you want to differentiate them like one drawing from another. Yeah, you can literally use the hash tool to do so. So I came up with some examples here, and I'm going to show you how you can apply them, how you can reduce on the transparency, the scale. We are going to go through all those things. So let's get into it. So first, I'll create my boundary sample. So I'll use a rectangle tool here. So I'll feed in 2000. I press the tab key and also put in 2000. So, okay. So I'll click at I'll click at the hash tool. So it will open up. Then I'll click at this first one, the solid, which is this one. So I'll bring it and put my cursor inside this square that I've just drawn. So when I click, the solid hash command will put in a solid hash inside this square. So if I want to reduce on the thickness of the solid hash, I'll just come here at the transparency option. So I'll feed in 50. So when I press enter, I press escape. So you see now the transparency kind of reduces. So let's get to this other one. Like I chose to use these samples here just because they are the ones that are mostly used in designing. Yeah, here there is a variety of hash tools, and each hash tool here is used for a specific reason, but mostly the ones I put here, they're the ones that are mostly used. So if you continue interacting with AutoCAD, you get to know how to use all these ones. So let's get to the second one. So I'll click at the rectangle tool, put in 2000, press the tab key, 2000, press enter. Then I'll choose this one. Okay. And I'll try to increase on the scale, maybe 30. And maybe I'll try to reduce on the transparency to 50. So when the transparency is at 0, this hash tool will be so bright. So when you click at it, then you reduce it to 50 and press enter. So you find that the transparency kind of reduces. It's like scaling the transparency of the hash that you're using at the moment. So we shall move on to the third hash tool. So I'll put in 2000, press the tab key, also put in 2000, press enter. Then I click at the hash tool, click at that arrow. Then this is the hash command that I want. So I'll click on it. I'll scale it to 1. Okay. So here the transparency, I'll leave it at 0. So I'll press enter. Then I'll click here. So you find that this is the same as this. But then if I want to reduce on the transparency of this hash tool, I'll click there. Maybe I can give it 50. So you find that this hash tool is used to represent concrete. This one is mostly used to represent masonry walls. This one is used to represent solid objects. Let's get to the fourth hash command. First create my square. Then I'll look for brick, which is here. Then I'll give it a scale of 30. You can give it any kind of scale. You can choose 50, 60, yeah. So for me, I'll use 30. Then I'll press enter. Then I'll come here and just click inside the square. So you find that it will automatically come in. So you find that for all these hash tool commands, they only work when a figure is enclosed. So if I click here and try to click here, AutoCAD will tell me that a closed boundary could not be determined. That means it cannot find any closed boundary where it can make its hash. You get, so whenever you want to use any of the hash tools, you have to make sure that you create a closed boundary such that it can easily use it. Okay, let's continue. So this one is usually used to show brick walls, like the front surface of the brick walls. This one I told you is also used to show masonry brick walls, but in a cross-sectional way. So maybe you've drawn a cross section through a masonry brick wall, you can easily use this hash tool. This one here, yeah, to represent your masonry wall. So let's continue with this one. So first I'll create my square. Press enter. So I click at that arrow, then I look for gravel. So I'll scale it to 10. I leave the transparency as it is. I press enter. Okay, so I can see it's more compacted. So let me try to increase here the scale to 30. Okay, it looks better right now. For this hash tool, it's mostly used to represent hardcore. Yeah, so if maybe you're drawing a foundation of a structure or anything, so you can easily use that hash tool command, this one here for gravel, to represent hardcore. Okay, you can also reduce its transparency maybe to 50 and press enter. See, to reduce, but let's leave it at 0. Okay, so let's get to the last option. So I'll create my square figure, which is 2000. Press the tab key. So this is sand, which is right here, AR sand. So this one, I'll give it a scale of 1. I'll leave the transparency as it is. I press enter, and I'll just click inside the square. Okay, So that is it with the drawing panel. So part 2 this video, I'm going to show you how you can go over with the modifying panel. So stick with me until the end of this video as I show you these other commands, how you can use them to come up with the drawing in AutoCAD. So wait for part 2. So I welcome you back to part 2 of this video. So in this part 2, we are going to look at the modifying panel. So under the modifying panel, we have the following tools. We have the move tool as number 1. Number 2, we have the copy tool. Number 3, we have the stretch tool. Number 4, we have the rotate tool. Number 5, we have the mirror tool. Number 6, we have the scale tool. Number 7, we have both the trim and the extend tools. They're right here. We have the trim and the extend. So if you want to access both of them, you just click at the arrow just besides the trim command. So let's continue. We have number 8 as the fillet, chamfer, and blend curves tools. They are just right here. We have the fillet, chamfer, and the blend curves tools. So number 9, we have the array tool. So under the array tool, we have the rectangular array, path array, and the polar array. Just right here. So number 10, we have the erase tool, which is right here. This is the erase tool. Then 11, we have the explode tool, which is right here. That's the explode tool. Then number 12, we have the explode tool, which is here. So for the modifying tool, it has more other tools right here, but I will explain to you these tools as we go on with AutoCAD in technical drawing. So let's jump into the move tool. So for the move tool, if you move this object from here up to here, it will take each and everything from this portion to this portion. Like, let me show you. So if I highlight the rectangle shape with the text rectangle, then I click on the move tool, you find that I'll move each and everything right here. So for the move tool, it doesn't leave anything behind. So if you highlight each and everything, then you move it to another place, you take each and everything to this other place. Okay, that's all with the move tool. So let's go to the copy tool. So for the copy tool, we are being given this drawing. So I want to copy it to this other portion. So if I highlight each and everything here, then I click copy, I'll put my cursor in the middle of the drawing, then I'll move it to this other portion. So still AutoCAD will require me to move another copy to another place, but then for me, I only need this copy. So I'll click escape button on my keyboard. So this is another thing with the copy tool, that for it leaves a copy behind, then it moves a copy to the other place that you want it to be. So that's the only difference between the move tool and the copy tool. So now, since we are done with the move tool, the copy tool, so let's look at the stretch tool and the rotate tool. So for the stretch tool, you increase the length of the given object or the width of the given object. So we are being given a rectangle here of length 2000 millimeters and width 200 millimeters. So I want to increase the length of this rectangle in this direction, and also the width of this rectangle in this direction. So I'll highlight part of the object, part of the rectangle in this direction. So I'll do this. I'll not highlight the whole rectangle. So you find that this portion here is not highlighted. So I'll click on the stretch tool. So I'll stretch the rectangle by 800. So you find that the dimension will increase from 2000 millimeters to 2800 millimeters. So let's stretch the width. So to stretch the width, I'll only highlight in this side of the rectangle. So this part of the rectangle won't be highlighted. So I'll click on the stretch tool. I put my cursor in the middle of that bottom line. Then I stretch it by 300. So you find that the width will increase from 200 millimeters to 500 millimeters. So that's how the stretch tool works. So let's look at the rotate tool. For the rotate tool, first you will have to highlight the whole object. So click at the rotate tool or command, then click at any point on the object. Let me click the middle point. So next I'll feed in the angle at which I want to rotate this object. If I put in 30 and I press enter on my keyboard, so AutoCAD will rotate this object at an angle of 30 from the horizontal. So if I draw here my line, and I choose angle, I click there, and also click there, you find that this angle is 30. That means I've rotated this object to an angle of 30 from the what? From the horizontal. Okay, that's how the rotate tool works. So you can rotate this object at any angle you feel like. So that is it with the rotate tool and the stretch tool. So now let's look at the mirror tool and the scale tool. So for the mirror tool, you need first highlight that whole object, then click at the mirror command, then you click at any of these bottom points of the object. So I can either click here or I can click here. So when I click there and I move it horizontally, you find that AutoCAD will mirror what is up and it will mirror it at the bottom. So when I click, um, AutoCAD will ask me if I want to erase source objects. So if I click yes, AutoCAD will mirror it to the bottom, but then the upper part of the object will disappear. Okay. So if I want to maintain both parts of the object, I'll highlight the object, click at the mirror tool, then click at that point, then also click here. Then if AutoCAD asks me erase source objects, I'll say no. So you find that I'll have this whole object as one. So that's how the mirror tool works. You can choose either to do away with the first source object, or you can choose to remain with it. So for me right now, I've remained with it to create this complete object. Okay, let's go into the scale tool. So for the scale tool, I have this square right here. So I want to scale it. So first I'll highlight it, then I click on scale. Then AutoCAD will ask me to specify the scale factor. Okay, so I'll put in 2. You can put in any kind of scale factor, but remember that the bigger the scale factor, the bigger the figure. The smaller the scale factor, the smaller the figure. So for me, I'll put in 2, then I'll press enter on my keyboard. So this is the object we have right now. So that's how the scale tool works. So this is it with the mirror tool and the scale tool. So now let's have a look at the trim tool and the extend tool commands. So for the trim tool, I have created an example here. So we have a rectangle, but then it's having cross lines. So I want to get rid of these cross lines. So I'll click on the trim tool. So I'll click there and also click there. I'll click there. I'll click here. After me trimming each and everything here, I'll press escape on my keyboard. So I'll have a clear rectangle right now. So let's have a look at the extend command. So right here, I have a rectangle, but then that rectangle has a line passing through it in the middle point. So I want to extend this other line, which is also at the midpoint of the base length, to this other side. So I'll click at the arrow just next to the trim command. Then I'll select the second option, which is extend. So I'll just click at the line which I want to extend. But then there's something here. If you want to extend this line, you place your cursor at a point nearest to the direction where you want to this line to be extended. So if I put my cursor at this point, so AutoCAD will automatically extend this line this side. So if I put it here, AutoCAD will extend this line this side. So I want it this side, so I'll click, I'll put it here, then I click. You get? So this is it with the extend command and the trim command. So let's continue with the fillet, chamfer, blend curve tools. So I'll start with the fillet tool. So for the fillet tool, in most cases, if you're required to apply a fillet on objects, so the fillet is usually a curve that joins two objects. But then if I apply a fillet here, AutoCAD will trim off these ones and it will apply a curve here whose radius is to be specified. So let me show you how to go over it. So first I'll click on fillet. So AutoCAD instructed me to specify the first object. So I'll feed in my radius of the fillet I want. So I'll put in 200, then I click enter. Then it will instruct me to select the second object, which is this one. So AutoCAD trimmed off these other parts of the lines such that it can create a fillet to join these two lines. So the same thing will happen here. So if I press F on my keyboard, so AutoCAD will bring for me a list of commands here. So I'll select fillet, and I'll select the first object, and I'll select the second object. Immediately I select the second object, AutoCAD joins the two lines. So the same thing will happen here. I press F on my keyboard, click on fillet. So I select this first line, I select the second line, then AutoCAD will join these two lines and it will create a fillet which will be joining these two lines. So I think these are enough examples to show how a fillet operates in AutoCAD. So let's go in for the chamfer. So we are done with the fillet tool. So let's look at the chamfer tool. So for the chamfer, we shall click at the arrow, select the second option, which is chamfer. So AutoCAD will tell me to specify first line. So I'll click at the bottom line. Then in the command line, I'll click on distance. Then I'll feed in 200. I press enter. Then I also press enter for the second distance. Then I click on the second line. So I'll repeat the same process. So I click on the first line. I'll also click on the second line. Yeah, I think that is it with the chamfer. So you can create more examples, but that's the procedure you can follow to create your chamfer in your designs. So let's look at the blend curve tools. So now for the blend curve tool, we shall click at the arrow just next to the fillet command. So I select the last option, which is blend curves. So AutoCAD will tell me to specify first object. So I'll click on this first curve, then select second object. Okay, this is what will happen if you click on the first object and the second object. So that is it for the fillet, chamfer, and blend tools. So next we are going to look at the array tool. So let's look at the array tool. So under the array tool, it has the rectangular array, polar array, then the path array. So let's start with the rectangular array. So I'll first create a figure here, probably a square of dimensions 200 by 200. So I'll highlight it, then I'll click at the arrow just besides the array command, then I'll choose the first one, which is rectangular array. So when I click on it, AutoCAD will automatically draw up an array of the original square that I drew. So I can edit this array by clicking on one of the groups here. So I can increase it horizontally, or I can reduce it. So I can also increase it vertically, or I can reduce it. So let's move on to the polar array. So for the polar array, I'll first create a circle. Maybe I'll give it a radius of 600. Then I'll also create another circle of radius 100. So I'll try to move this circle towards the circumference of this other big circle. Then I'll come back at this arrow just next to the array tool. I'll click on it, then choose polar array. Then AutoCAD will instruct me to specify object. Now I'll hit enter on my keyboard. Then AutoCAD will still tell me to specify the center of the array. So I'll click at the center of the big circle. So when I'm done with clicking at the center, so AutoCAD will automatically develop an array of this small circle around the circumference of the big circle. Yeah. So let's look at the path array. Still, I'll use the same radius of 600. I hit enter. So right here, I'll create a circle of radius 100. I hit enter. Then I'll move this circle to touch the circumference of this big circle, but inside it. Okay. So I'll click path array. So I'll select this object. Then I hit enter. then AutoCAD will tell me to select the path curve. So when I hit the circumference of the big circle, AutoCAD will automatically draw an array inside it. So you can edit this array. Okay. So that is it. That is it with the array tool. You can play around with this array according to the design that you want. Yeah. So let's look at the arrays tool. So lastly, we are going to look at the erase tool, the explode tool, and the offset tool. So the erase tool is just right here, then the explode tool is just right there, then the offset tool is just below the explode tool. So first I'll show you how you can deal with the erase tool. So I'll click on the erase tool. So I have a circle, but it is intercepted by zigzag lines. So I want to erase these lines. So AutoCAD will tell me to select the objects that I want to erase. So I'll click inside the circle, then I'll select all these objects. Okay, then I'll just hit enter on my keyboard. So those zigzag lines will automatically be erased or they will disappear. So second, we shall deal with the offset tool. So the offset tool majorly, it's like duplicating an object, yeah, to another position. So if maybe I want to offset this line here at a distance of maybe I can put in a distance of 100. So the offset tool just duplicates this line here to this other position. So they are the same lines but on different positions. Okay, so I may continue offsetting the same kind of line. Yeah. So that is it with the offset tool. It just duplicates an object to another position. It's like copying. Yeah. So let's look at the explode tool. So for the explode tool, literally if you want to offset this rectangle the way we have done here, if you want to offset this line of the rectangle as the way we have done here, it won't be possible because if I click on the rectangle it highlights the whole rectangle. So when I click on offset, you find that I feed in my 100, it will offset the whole figure inside. So if I want it outside, it will take it outside. So this is not what I want. So if I want to offset it the way I've done here, I'll first explode this rectangle. So I click on the rectangle, I click on the explode command. So when I click on it, AutoCAD will explode this rectangle. That means I can easily click on this line, also that one, also that one, also that one. So when I click here, I can easily offset that line to 100 millimeters the way I've been doing it here. so like that. So literally we have come to the end of part 2 of our video. So stick with me until I come with part 3 of our tutorial. So in part 3 we are going to be looking at the annotation panel. So welcome you back to part 3 of this video. So for part 3 we are going to be handling the annotation panel. So under the annotation panel we have the following command tools. We have the text command and the dimension command as the major commands that we shall be dealing with. So we shall start with the text command. So before you deal with anything under the text command, you first set the text styles. So to do so, you click at the arrow just next to the annotation name of the panel. So click at the first option. So click at manage text styles. So the text style dialog box will show up. So we have two text styles, the annotative and the standard. So I usually use the standard text style. So here you will choose the font name, just click at the arrow at the last edge of the box. Then you choose the font name that you feel like. But for me, I usually use Arial, but you can decide to use any font style that you're comfortable with. So here you choose the font style. I use regular, but you can use italic or bold italic, any you feel like. So you set the height of the text that you want to be using. Right now, mine is in 100, the text height, millimeters. So for the effects, you leave them as they are. Then the width factor, you leave it at 1. Then the oblique angle. Then when you're done with setting each and everything here, you click at this button of set current. Then after, you click close. So you come back at your text command here, click at the arrow just below it. So AutoCAD will show you two text commands. We have the multi-line text and the single line text. So let me show you how you can deal with the multi-line text. So after you choosing the multi-line text, come at the working space. So I'll type AutoCAD. Taking control. So this is under multi-line text. Let me also include it here. Let's move it nearer there. So next, I'm going to show you how you can deal with the single line text. So I'll just click at it there. Then when I click in the workspace, the polar tracking line shows up. Then I'll just click, then I type in single line text. So I'll fill in also AutoCAD tutorials. So there is something unique here. If you want to edit a text from outline text, if you click on it, AutoCAD will highlight the whole text. But then if you click at any text from single line text, it only highlights that text that you have clicked on. So if you want to edit any text here in single line text, you edit one text at a time. So if I want to edit any text here, I'll double click on a single text. Then I'll say 4, enter. Okay. So if I want to edit this text, I'll double click on it. You see, AutoCAD selects each and everything from outline text. So I'll remove that. I'll put in 4. Okay. So that's the only difference between multi-line text and single line text. That's why you see in most cases people prefer using the multi-line text. That for it you can work with it smoothly and you can edit anything conveniently, which is not the case with single line text, whereby you have to edit a single text at a time. That is it with the text command. So let's look at the dimension command. So now for the dimension command, we shall first set our dimension styles. So I'll just click at the arrow just below besides the name of the panel. So I'll choose the second option. So here it shows me the dimension styles. There is annotative, ISO 25, and standard. So I'll click at manage dimension styles. So a dimension style manager dialog box will pop up. Then in most cases I use standard, but it may depend. You may choose to use annotative or ISO according to what you want to draw. That we click at the modifying button, the modifying dimension style dialog box will show up. So here you're trying to set the dimension style that you'll be using in your drawings. So this dialog box just helps you to set the dimension style that you'll be using in your drawings. So first click at lines. So dimension lines, I'll set them by layer. So line type by layer. Sorry, no. This is by block. Then line weight by layer. Then extend beyond as it is. Then baseline spacing, you leave it as it is. Then if you click here on suppress, there are two boxes, dimension line 1 and dimension line 2. So if you click here, it suppresses the dimension line, the first dimension line. Yeah, so I can see here our dimension lines are full. So if I click here, one dimension line disappears, like it kind of suppresses it. So, and also if I click here, if I click there at the second box, it also suppresses the other dimension line. So I usually don't use these ones. So you can also choose to suppress the extension line 1, then also the extension line 2. So extension line, color by block. I think these ones you leave them as they are. Then extend beyond dimension lines, offset from origin. Then here you can choose to customize the length of the extension line. Like for me, I customized it to 100 millimeters. So I go to symbols and arrows. So for arrows, the first closed field, you can choose any from here, from these options. But for me, I chose closed and filled arrow. Then the second, you can also choose any, but it's better the arrow option you choose here, or the arrow style you choose here should be the same with the arrow that you choose here for uniformity. So the leader, so it must also be the same as that one. So you specify the arrow size. So for me here, I have my arrow size is at 100 millimeters. So you can specify or choose the size of the arrow that you want according to the designs you have. So you just leave these ones as they are, and also this one as they are. Then arc length symbol above dimension line, yeah, like this. So you just leave these ones as they are. Then click at the text tab. So up I have the text appearance, text style, standard, text color by layer. I choose layer. Then fill color, none. Then text height. For text height, I had already specified it in my text style dialog box. Yeah, I think you remember. So text placement, vertical. You can choose whether to center it, um, whether you want it outside or below. So you must choose something that will make your dimension style to look uniform and good. So for me, for vertical, I choose above. So if you choose centered, you see how it looks like. That means it will be intercepting with dimension line. So if you choose below, the text will be below the dimension line. So if you choose outside, that's how it will be looking like. So horizontal, I chose centered, but then you can choose this one. If you choose this one, this is how your text will be appearing. Okay. So you can also specify the view direction. So for me, I put left to right. You can also, if you change it to right to left, that's how it will be. But mostly I like it when it is left to right. So text alignment, I choose aligned with dimension line. So if you choose this option, AutoCAD aligns the text with the dimension lines. So I click at the fit button. So here I choose the first option, text. So AutoCAD asks you if there isn't enough room to place both text and arrows inside a text extension lines. The first thing to move outside the extension lines is either text or arrows best fit. So for me, I usually choose this one. So text placement, what is when text is not in the default position, place it over dimension line without a leader. Okay, you leave these ones as they are. So I click at the primary units tab. So here unit format, I choose decimal. You can choose architecture or engineering or fractional according to the units you have set. If it is metric, then you have to use decimal. Then the precision, in most cases, people they choose two decimals, other three. For me, I usually want to work with one decimal. So you leave these ones as they are. And the scale factor is 1. Yeah, precision 1. Then all these ones are okay. Then after that, you click at the OK button. Then say close. So we are going to create a figure right here. Then I'll try to dimension it. So I have this rectangle that I've just created. So I will also create a circle there. So if I click at the dimension command, So this is the length of this rectangle, and this is the width of this rectangle. So the dimension tool can also get you the diameter of the circle. So if I click at the circumference, if I just hover my cursor at the circumference of the circle, you can easily get the diameter of the circle, just as the way I've done right here. So if you click, you will get the dimension of the circle, which is 1007 millimeters. So I want to show you the other types of dimensions that you may be required to use. Yeah, so if you want to access them, you just click at this arrow besides the linear tool. So we have the linear tool, the aligned tool, the angular tool. They are all dimension types. So we have the arch length. This one determines the length of the arch. This one gives you the radius of an arch or a circle, the diameter of a circle. Okay, so let me show you how each and every type here operates. So we shall start with the linear type of it. So under linear, I came up with the rectangle. It's what we are going to use to illustrate the linear dimension type. So I'll get the length as 928 millimeters. Still, I'll click on linear to give me the width. So this is it with the linear. So for aligned, I'll click at the second option, which is aligned. So for aligned, it is used to get the dimensions of inclined surfaces. So I have a rectangle here, so I want to get the length of this inclined surface, which is mostly the hypotenuse. So I'll click at the first point here, then I'll also click at the second point. So this will be the dimension or the length of this inclined line. So if I need the dimensions of this, I'll use the linear type of dimension. So that will be that. And here the base length will be 982. And here the height of the rectangle will be 712 millimeters. Okay, so let's move on to the radius. So you can still use the dimension type for the radius to get the radius of the circle. I'll click here. So AutoCAD will tell me to select the arch or circle. So I'll select this circle. Then automatically I'll get the what? The radius, which is 340. So that is it with the radius. So I can also get the diameter. So I just click here at this option for the diameter. Then AutoCAD will tell me to select the arch or circle. So I'll get the what? The diameter. So my diameter is 680 millimeters. So now I want to get the arch length for this arch here. I want to get its length. So I'll just click at the arrow. So look for this option, which is arch length. So when I click at the arrow, I mean at the arch, so AutoCAD will give me the length of this arch. So when it comes to angular, so in most cases, whenever we use angular, that's when we want to determine the angles between two surfaces, or the angle between two lines, you get. So I'll click at the arrow, then choose the third option, which is angular. So I'll select the first line, then I'll select the second line. So that will be the angle between this line and that line. So I want the angle between this line and that line. So still I'll click at angular. I click on that line, then I click on that second line. So my angle 134 degrees. The first was 50 degrees. So right now I want the angle between this line and that line. So still I'll click at the angular command, then I'll click on that line, and I also click on this line. So my angle is 64 degrees. Yeah, so that's how you can use these dimension types. So I think that is it with the annotation panel. So I welcome you back to part 4 of this video. So we are going to be looking at the layers panel. Under the layers panel, we shall be looking at the naming a layer, renaming a layer, deleting a layer, locking a layer, turning on and off a layer, line type of a layer, line weight, then transparency of a layer, layer color, line type, and set to current a layer. So let me start with naming a layer. So imagine maybe you want a new layer. Right click the layers panel dialog box. I'll right click on this dialog box for the layers properties. So I'll choose new layer. So AutoCAD will provide me with a new layer. So I'll name it objects. So I'll hit enter. So after that, I'll choose the color of the layer. So I'll click on this square-like shape with a blue color. So from here, from this dialog box, I'll select which color I should give my layer. I give it green. So I'll click OK. Then from here, I'll select the line type. So when I click here, in this column for line type, this select line type dialog box pops up. So it's from here that I'll select the line type I want for my layer. So I have AutoCAD, ISO, then continuous, then dashed X2. So if I want it to have the continuous line type, I'll click on it, then I hit OK. Maybe the other thing is you can also select the line type from the properties panel. So by clicking there, then you choose any of these line types. If you find that you don't need any of them, so you click on other. So line type manager dialog box will pop up, then you click on load. Then from here you select the line type you want. There is a variety of lines, so it's up to you to select which one you should use. So if I click on hidden, I click OK. Then also here I'll click OK. So I'll come back here and I look for my new layer that I named objects. I click on it, then I look for hidden, which is here. So I'll click OK. Let's move on to this column 4, line weight. So when you click on the line weight column, so this line weight dialog box will show up. Then you select the line weight you should give your layer. So you can select any of these ones. So let me select 0.15. I hit OK. So the transparency, I'll leave it at 30, which is okay. I've shown you how to name a layer, the transparency of a layer, line type, the line weight. Okay. So if I need to set this new layer as current, remember it's already highlighted. I'll right click in this layer properties dialog box, then I'll select set current. So you find that it's already set to current. So this is the current layer that is active. So whatever drawing you'll be making here, it will be under this layer. That's what it implies. So the next thing is, let's look at locking a layer. So when it comes to locking a layer, maybe if I've drawn a circle here under objects layer, so I'll click there, then I'll click on that padlock like icon. So if you lock a layer, you can't do anything with the object under this layer. So if I want to highlight it, it won't highlight. You can't do anything with the object unless if you unlock it. Okay, so that is it with the locking the layer. So if I turn off this layer, AutoCAD will tell me the current layer will be turned off. What do you want to do? So I'll click here, turn the current layer off. So when you turn it off, the object under this, all the objects under this layer, they disappear. Okay, so if you want them to reappear, you just the layer on. So when you turn it on, all the objects appear. So that is it with turning on and off a layer. So I think that is it with part 5 of this video. I just want to say that thanks for watching and staying with me until the end of this video. And the reason as to why I decided to make this video is I wanted to introduce to you some of the commands that we shall be interacting with during our lessons of technical drawing. Yeah, remember I told you that I moved from where I was, so the place I'm in right now, it's not favorable for me to use drawing boards, the drawing board and the pencil and the papers. So that's why I chose to be doing my tutorials using the AutoCAD interface. So viewers, allow me to be teaching you technical drawing using the AutoCAD interface. Thanks for watching, and if this video has been of helpful to you, please you can give it a like, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching. We meet in the next video that is yet to come.